Hi, this is Kaushik Mukherjee from the WebSphere Development Lab. In this video, we'll be doing a quick walkthrough of a sample batch application using the WebSphere Liberty profile and the WebSphere developer tools. Before you begin, be sure to visit wasdev.net and download the latest beta. In this walkthrough, we'll be using the Sleepy Batchlet sample application, which you can download from GitHub. The sample also includes instructions on how to set up and configure your Liberty profile server to run batch applications. Once you have your Liberty profile and your WDT environment set up, make sure that you have the following three features configured in your server XML: Local Connector 1.0, Managed Batch 1.0, and Servlet 3.1. Also make sure that you have the following security configuration. Here we're going to use the user Bob with password BobPWD. We'll need this when we submit our batch jobs and also when we use the REST interface to manage our batch jobs. Next, we'll import the Sleepy Batchlet sample application into our Eclipse workspace. We'll import the application as an existing Maven project. Since we've already configured the server XML for our local server instance, we can remove the server configuration file or server XML included just as a convenience within the sample application package. If we take a quick look at the sleepybatchlet.java class, we can see that we can set the amount of time that the batchlet sleeps by setting the sleep.time.seconds batch property. By default, the batchlet will sleep for 15 seconds. Next, we'll look at the job definition file. Here you can see we use a job parameter to perform a property substitution into the batchlet's sleep.time.seconds batch property. Now we can deploy our sample application to the server. First, right-click on your server and click Start. The server will start in just a few seconds. Once the server is started, right-click on the server again and click and Add and Remove. Add the Sleepy Batchlet sample and click Finish. Now we can run our batch job. Right-click on the Sleepy Batchlet XML, click Run As, and the Java EE batch job. Fill in the user ID and password with Bob and BobPWD, and click Run. You will see a dialog box pop up with information about the job you just submitted. The Java EE batch job logs view will then show you the status of all your different job submissions. You can see that job execution 28 isn't completed right away because the default sleep time is set to 15 seconds. Now we'll submit the Sleepy Batchlet job again, but this time we'll set the sleep time seconds job parameter. You can do this by adding a job parameter through the Sleepy Batchlet XML run configuration. Here we set the sleep time seconds job parameter to 4 seconds. This time you can see that the job completes much faster. Next, we'll use the batch REST interface to submit the Sleepy Batchlet job. Here you can see we use a JSON object to supply the application name, job XML name, and the job parameters. We've set the sleep time for this job execution to 300 seconds, or 5 minutes. Here we use the same username and password that we used previously, and then send off our HTTP post request. We get back a JSON response with a link to our job instance. We can click on this link and then see the details of our job instance. We can also see any job executions associated with this job instance. We can then click on the job execution link to see the job execution details. Since we set the sleep time to 300 seconds, it will take 5 minutes for the job to finish. Let's see if we can stop the job before the job completes. Here we send an HTTP put request to stop job execution 33 and supply a URL parameter of action equal to stop. We send the request and we see the batch status goes to stopping. We can then click on the execution and see that it's stopped. Next we'll send another put request to restart execution 33. This time we set the URL parameter of action to restart. Notice how this time we didn't supply any job parameters for the restart. This means that the job will default to completing in 15 seconds instead of 300. When we look at the job instance details again, we can see that there are now 2 executions associated with this job instance. We can then go to the job execution details for execution 34. Here we can see the batch status is already completed and that the start and end times are only 15 seconds apart. You can continue to explore the Batch REST API using your favorite REST client. For more information on Batch, Liberty, or WDT, visit us at wasdev.net, and if you have any questions, be sure to post them on our answers forum.